Ready. All right. Okay, we live, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's kind of a short notice, or I didn't get a chance to advertise it on Twitter and such, but I have.
Well, I did, but I have no followers.
Oh, I know. Oh, well, I did a couple times on my channel there, a few times. I often plug this program whenever I get the chance here. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Time here. Actually, 1 minute afterwards. This is Arknolia and the Doctor, and this is episode 32 of our music
One,
memories. Music 31? Oh, am I 31? Oh, you're right there. My bad. I gotta change that. I wasn't
don't
think.
worry about it.
All right, there. I'll take a check there later on. Anyways, we're live, folks. And our music memory series continues on the 1960s, U.S. rock and roll scene here with all the different genres of bands that are out there, pop, rock, soul, you name it. There, it's out there. So definitely, I think we left off at the what was the group that we're doing this in alphabetical order, by the way, I should say there.
Yeah, 'cause that's what my list is in. Last one we discussed was Lulu, she's actually British, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, because we know
Um,
we know her from her the song "To Sir with Love," which was also the name of the movie, which starred Sidney Poitier, and he's basically he was a U.S. teacher in England, I guess, if I remember right.
yeah, and it was like a English school full of the hoodlums and hoods and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
It was a bad school.
oh yeah, it's kind of like the Blackboard Jungle in a way, but the UK version.
Yeah,
Because I remember seeing that movie back in the day. I guess it starred Glenn Ford, if I remember.
could be. I don't remember.
And
Lulu herself was actually in the movie.
oh, I know. Well, I'm talking. Well, I'm talking. I'm speaking of the Blackboard Jungle, by the way, which is black and
Oh,
white
yeah.
movie there, which also had Jamie Farr, who would later star in MASH.
Oh, yeah.
That's him. Yeah, that's right. Yep, he was in that movie. I guess he played a special ed student. I guess, what I understand.
Yeah, it was funny because he became the guy in the dress in the early versions of MASH.
Yeah, but I remember the guy who was trying to make like he's crazy and was so he could get out of the army there. So apparently it never worked. 'Cause we all saw through all that bullshit there. So
Well,
either
not only that, later on they changed and just, you know,
change it to normal because I guess he realized it wasn't going to work.
right.
Yeah. So
I'm going to backtrack a little bit here.
okay.
I want to mention a group we haven't mentioned yet because I didn't know whether to put them here or in the psychedelic because they only had really one psychedelic song,
Ah.
but they're important for a reason.
Okay.
The group's name is the First Edition. Do you know why they're important?
Because Kenny Rogers was their front man.
Exactly.
Yep. And
And
we
the very
know
first song that was released by them was a song called Just Dropped In to See What Condition My
Mike.
Condition Was In.
Yep. I remember
And
that.
it was psychedelic.
It was. Yeah. I mean, the title alone was kind of a psychedelic all its own self.
Yeah, and it's actually a good song,
Yeah.
but it's totally different from anything else Kenny Rogers ever did.
Yeah, very different because look what the like excuse me, look what it later paved the way to. It later paved the way for Kenny Rogers' successful solo act.
Yeah, and actually he had a long career in country, which we'll cover him in the 70s.
Absolutely. He also had a good long career in the movies just as well.
Yeah, and I had some lists on a few groups that we covered that I thought about it and I said, yeah, why not? Uh, First one I got is the Four Seasons.
Yep. Frankie Valli and the Boys. And the subject of the Broadway play Jersey Boys.
Yeah, yeah. My number 10 is Big Man in Town.
Yep.
Number 9 was Candy Girl. Number 8 is Big Girls Don't Cry.
Oh yeah, we know that one.
And 7's Walk Like a Man. 6 is a song called Come On Marianne, which wasn't a big hit for them, but it's a good song.
Yep.
Number 5 is Tell It to the Rain, another song that wasn't that big, but it was a good song.
Yep.
And number 4 I got is Dawn Go Away. And number 3 is Bye Bye Baby,
Ah.
Baby Goodbye. Number 2, Let's Hang On to What We Got.
Yeah, we have heard that many times.
And my number one, the song I like best by him was a song called Ragdoll.
Ah, I remember hearing that as well. I remember there was an advertisement for their greatest hits on TV there, and all the songs you mentioned was included on that list there. And many
Oh yeah,
times they played some of those songs on the oldies radio back in Michigan there.
oh yeah. There were others they played too, but those are the
Yeah,
10 I picked.
yeah. Of course, they had. Of course, later on there would be the Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. I guess Frankie Valley got ownership of the name, if I'm correct there.
Yeah, and then he went solo.
Yes, as well. I remember the song Who Loves You" back in the '70s. There, it still had that old '50s doo-wop sound in that song there.
Yeah, and Frankie wasn't even a part of that song, as I remember.
Wow. And plus, you know,
Or was it December 1969? Oh, what a night, or whatever. I
I
think
remember
that
that
was the
song.
one.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember there was this R&B group called Change, did a good cover of that song back in 1982. I remember hearing.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
of course, you know, we also know Frankie Valli by his one of his biggest solo hits, the theme for the movie Grease from
yeah,
'78. Massive
yeah,
song, written by Barry Gibb, by all people.
yeah. I don't know why Barry didn't go ahead and sing it himself, but
Well, I
oh
guess him
well.
and the Bee Gees would later do them themselves later on at future performances. I remember there was an HBO special that filmed in Australia. No, it was not on HBO. It was on VH1, the old VH1, and they had Libby Newton-John, who starred in in Grease. You know, she
Yeah,
was right in the front row, and they did the song, and the camera zoomed right on Libby Newton-John, right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next group I want to do real quick was Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
Yeah.
Gary Lewis being Jerry Lewis's son.
Uh huh.
They didn't do too bad for themselves.
Yeah, we all know the song "This Diamond Ring," if I'm correct.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Definitely, yes.
Okay. Number 10 I got is a song called My Heart Symphony. Number 9 I got is Save Your Heart for Me. Number 8 is Everybody Loves a Clown.
Yes.
7, She's Just My Style.
Nice.
6, Where Will the Words Come From? Number 5, Green Grass. Number 4, Without a Word of Warning. Oh, I did that wrong.
Oops.
Number 3, I had Green Grass, but I'm going to make it sure going to miss her
All right.
since I mentioned Green Grass before.
All right.
Number 2 is This Diamond Ring.
Oh yeah.
And my number 1 by them was Count Me In.
Nice.
Good song.
Yeah.
I got 2 more and then we'll move to the other thing. Herb Alpert.
Oh yeah.
I decided, what the heck? Let me do them.
Yeah, we got to because this man was you got to give him credit because of the record label he had. A&M, him and Jerry Moss. They
Right.
founded a label together, as we spoke many times before. Herb would release his own group, him and the Tijuana Brass. They would later sign groups like Nazareth, Sergio Mendes, and Brazil 66. They would also have the Police with Sting, Andy Summers, Stuart Copeland, and of course a whole bunch of others. Sheryl Crow, Soundgarden, and the best thing about being on that particular label, because you also, since the head of the company was also an artist himself, you were able to get help as an artist as well.
Yeah, he was more tuned to the artist part of it.
Absolutely, because as we said, he was one himself. So, and sadly, I don't know if A&M is still around. For what I understood, it closed down, and I guess it went to the contracts went to some other company. Well, it still uses an A&M label, but I don't know if the label except it still exists. I should look it up there.
I'm not sure on that one.
I'll
A
check it
lot of
out.
the older labels, except for the really big ones, are gone anyway.
Yeah, no, yeah. Nazareth Bar. Let's see here. Let's see here. I know. Okay, it was a record label, and It started. It was from night. Well, let's see here. Coming by. Let me see here. Blah blah blah. Let me look it up here. Had a lot of artists on there. It was a U.S. record label founded by an independent company by Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss in 1962. Due to the success of the discography A&M release, the label garnished interest and was acquired by Polygram in 1989 and beginning distributing releases from Polydor Limited from the UK. To its operations, A&M housed well-known acts such as the Gin Blossoms, Dishwalla, Joe Cocker, Procol Harum, Captain Antonio, Sting, The Police, Sergio Mendes, Ozark Mountain Daredevils, Supertramp, Bryan Adams, Burt Bacharach, Liza Minnelli, The Carpenters, Paul Williams, Quincy Jones, Janet Jackson, Cat Stevens, Peter Frampton, Humble Pie, Elkie
Oh,
Brooks,
we'll
Carol.
talk about a lot of those people.
Damn, Amy Grant, Extreme, Styx, Carol King, Joan Baez, CeCe Peniston, Shanice, Blues Trapper, Soundgarden, Sheryl Crow, Duffy. Holy cow, dude! Wow.
Yeah, prolific label.
Yeah, absolutely. A perfect label ran by a very prolific man there. It was sadly it was in 1998. It was acquired by Seagram and dissolved into Universal Music Group. And A&M's operations were ceased. Officially, the seat was ceased in January 1999, when it was merged into Geffen Records and Interscope Records to form the label Interscope Geffen A&M Records. That's the name of the label. In 2007, Interscope Geffen A&M announced that A&M was revived as trademark and brand to be merged with the Octone Records to form A&M Octone Records, which operated until 2013 when the label was folded into Interscope. Now today, the catalog releases are managed by Verb Records, Universal Music Enterprises, and Interscope there. Wow.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, my top 10 for Herb Alpert.
Yep, go ahead, man.
Number 10, I got his Third Man theme.
Yep.
For a TV show, I believe. Number 9, I got Mexican Shuffle.
Ah.
Number 8 is Lonely Bull. A lot of his songs were Mexican themed. Well, there's a reason for that, but hey,
I know, yeah.
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think he was Mexican himself, if I was correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 7's Work Song.
I see.
A lot of these, when you play them, you're going to recognize them as the background of stuff.
No. I remember you once told me that was used on the original dating game show program there back in the 70s there.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. My other computer just shut itself down for no reason.
What? Are you serious? Damn.
Oh, it does it once in a while. I don't know why. But I'd use it basically for reference. I'm just going to have to get it back up again, though.
Oh, crap.
Number 6 I got is This Guy's in Love with You, which, again, that's a cover.
Yep. Great song there. Great ballad. Big hit for the guy there.
Number 5 is Spanish Flea.
Kind of like a take on Spanish Fly, but back then you couldn't really say Spanish Fly without getting in trouble.
Right.
Yep.
Number 4, I got Zorba the Greek, which is a theme from the movie by the same name.
Ah.
Number 3 is Tijuana Taxi.
I remember hearing that as well. The album Going Places that my dad had.
Yeah.
And what? Go ahead. My bad.
Number 2, I got So What's New. And number 1 is, yes, you guessed it, Whipped Cream.
Oh yeah, of course. And of course, we talked about that album cover many times. You know, that was one of the. That was probably one of the at that time was considered one of the most sexy album covers of the 1960s, next to Nancy Sinatra's "Sugar," which had her in a pink bikini on the front cover there.
Yeah.
And this was a regular. And this was not the kind of bikinis that we see nowadays. This was a lot more. It covered up the bottom area.
Yeah, it was the bikini for that era, but it was still something you just didn't see on an album cover much.
Not much. Nope.
No.
Nope. Now, can you imagine?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, imagine being 13-year-old man. That was that Playboy at that time. I remember back then when a lot of times as a young kid hearing all these jokes that National Geographic was considered well, a Playboy magazine for around that time because of all the native women in certain countries being bare-breasted and everything there.
Yeah, a lot of times you saw them as like, what's the deal? I mean,
I
why are
know. It's like,
people,
why
are
don't
you that
these?
desperate?
I know, something like that. But then we realized that's part of their native culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just too bad it wasn't a culture here. Haha.
I know.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Uh, and next artist before we get to our thing that we're normally doing here
Yep.
is Johnny Rivers. I decided, hey, let's do a quick top 10 on him.
I am.
Number 10 I got is Rockin' Pneumonia Boogie Woogie Flu.
All right.
Number 9 I got's Baby I Need Your Lovin'.
Which I remember hearing back in when I was in school there that one time on that teacher's record player. It was on one of those oldies but goodies type of reissues for the 45.
Yeah, and also the Four Tops did it. In fact, I believe
I
they did it
remember hearing that
originally.
as well. Yes, I remember. Yes, they did, and then Rivers covered it later on.
Yeah, well, Rivers is a lot of covers actually.
Hmm.
And number 8 is Where Have All the Flowers Gone, which is another anti-war song.
Oh wow, yeah.
And like I said, we could almost do a whole show on those.
Uh,
The more I go into this, the more I go, oh yeah, that was. Number 7, Seventh Son. Number 6 is Mountain of Love.
yes. Hmm.
Number 5 was Memphis. Number 4 is Maybelline.
Oh yeah, the two Chuck Berry
Both of
covers
those
there.
are, yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Number 3, I got Secret Agent Man.
One of my
That was a
personal
great
favorite.
song.
My personal favorite from him.
2, I got Poor Side of Town.
Another good one there.
And number 1 I got is Summer Rain.
Mm. Hey.
I got weird taste. What can
Yeah.
I say?
Yeah. Don't we all
What do
have
you
weird
have to
taste?
agree?
Yeah.
Oh man! And here I said we were going to get started, and well, the first one I got to Mama Cass. She kind of broke away when everybody's like, "Hey, she's the real singer."
Yeah, she did.
And
And give her credit. She was one of the first plus size ladies in the rock and roll scene to really branch out and make it big when you think about it. Because back then,
yeah,
women her size and her weight was often ignored, pushed in the back, and was grateful for whatever attention they could ever get. Mama Cass, however, was getting
right.
lots of attention because of that. I remember Michelle
Yep.
Phillips one time said there would be like one guy be like, "I love you, Cass," and be like, "Good, meet me at hotel room 66, man."
Yeah,
And
and she had a lot of pretty good songs too
yeah,
herself.
she did, yeah, and she was the first one of the first really people to break away from the Mamas and Papas when she was getting sick and tired of all the drama that was going on in that group there.
Yeah, and I actually they're next, and I have a list for them.
Ah, nice.
And I think I included a Mama Cass song or two in this list, if
All
I'm not
right,
mistaken. In
that's cool.
fact, I think number 10 is one, Words of Love.
All right,
Number 9 is 12:30.
this.
Number 8 is Dedicated to the One I Love, which, no, that's not Mama Cass.
Oh, okay. Mamas and Papas or
Yeah,
someone
well,
else.
these are Mama's and Papa's songs.
Oh, okay.
Number 7 is Dream a Little Dream of Me, which
Um,
was mainly sung by Mama Cass.
all right.
Number 6, I Call Your Name. Number 5, Go Where You Want to Go. Number 4 is Creek Alley, which is kind of a biographical thing about them and the Love Spoonful and what was going on when they were trying to get together and all of that stuff.
About the whole
Entertaining.
yeah, the old the entertainment scene in California, according to them, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Number 3 is California Dreaming. Everybody knows that song.
Oh yeah, like the back of our hand. Did you ever saw the video for the Beach Boys cover of that song? back in '85?
No, I didn't.
I did. I remember years back. It had the Beach Boys. It was a black and white video walking around some forest there, and in the back, as the Beach Boys look back, they see Dennis Dennehy, John Phillips, and Michelle Phillips in the background. They're staring at them. Back.
Wow.
Wow, it's kind of haunting image, but it's kind of but yeah, it's a perfect homage, I guess you could say there. The Beach Boys
Yeah.
paying tribute to another California-based group about California, missing that California good warm weather. Because apparently the
And
story
the
was
ironic thing is, this is, as I understand it, a cover, and I don't remember who the original artist was.
really
Yeah.
because I remember because I thought John Phillips wrote the song because, for what I understand, Michelle, his wife at the time, and was apparently she was missing California, the warm weather, because they were stuck in some apartment in cold,
Well, it
winterly
wouldn't hurt
New
to
York.
look that one up.
Yeah, definitely the California
Well,
Dream.
my
I'm good.
computer's not up yet, so I can't look it up.
Okay,
Luckily, I used this laptop and not
California.
the, or we'd be off air right now.
All right. All right, let me look
While
it
you're
up right.
looking up, while you're
California
doing
Dream.
that,
Go ahead.
number two, I got Monday, Monday.
Hmm.
And number one, I saw her again last night. And the cool thing about that song is they
Hmm.
have a mistake in it that they left in it.
Oh wow.
At about the 2 or 3 minute, or 2.5, 3 minute mark, something like that.
All right.
They start the verse and the guy goes, I saw her. And then he stops and they keep going and he goes, I saw her again last night.
Yes.
Because he came in early, apparently.
All right. And I looked up California Dream, and it was written by John and Michelle Phillips and was first recorded by Barry McGuire. But the best known version was
Okay.
by their group, the Mamas and the Papas, who sang
Right.
back up on the original version and was released in a single in '65. And the song
Yeah, I
cover
thought
is
I had heard something that it was done by someone else
yeah,
first.
and
But
so this makes the Beach Boys cover from '85, the third version of that track there.
yeah.
And of course, as I figured, as I was remember hearing the lyrics, express this narrator's longing for the warmth of Los Angeles during the cold winter in New York City. And of course, it became a signpost for the California sound, heralding the arrival of the what was it called, the nascent counterculture era, from what I understand. It was also certified
Yeah.
gold as a gold single by the Recording Industry Association of America in June of '66, the year I was born. It was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2001. It was also number 89 in the 500 greatest songs of all time in Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah, which I don't have a tremendous amount of respect for Rolling Stones lists
Not late,
for
yeah, man.
not for the most part, because one thing, they hate prog groups totally. They
Wow.
don't even acknowledge them. They don't say anything about them. As
Yep.
far as they're concerned, prog doesn't exist.
My question
And
is,
if you're going to be a music cover magazine,
yep.
you need to talk about all of them.
I know that's true. I don't really pay attention to Rolling Stone because it seems that as of late, Rolling Stone has been touring towards the liberal side, other than concentrating on both sides. Because
Or
but
just
then
simply talking about music.
yeah, I know, but it's just they often talk about politics and this and that. But here's the thing, you know, it's just now I don't really pay attention because now the artists that's on their covers and magazines right now I don't even know about, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, I
Yeah.
haven't listened to the radio in God knows how long since I moved here in Texas. Radio to me is like you know,
Yeah. Well, it's basically their pet projects and stuff they want to push.
yeah,
No, they're not interested in,
real rock.
the whatever is. Yeah, like you said, real rock.
Absolutely there.
That it's their little agendas.
Yep, absolutely. The indie bands, bands like the White Stripes, or the Black Keys, just two guys, singer who plays guitar and the drummer, Where's the bass player? Where's this and that? I was never into the White Stripes or the Black Keys. I mean, it just really wasn't my thing. But there are pushes like, oh yeah, this is rock and roll. This is the real rock we've been craving for years. It's like, fuck you.
Well, it's basically the same kind of dummies that run the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but
Absolutely. That's
that
even worse.
group some of the artists that they don't have there,
Yep.
and yet some of the artists they do have
Are not able to
just
rock and
basically
roll.
throws. Where's the rock and roll in that?
Yeah, I don't
Don't
consider.
call it the Rock and Roll
I
Hall of
mean,
Fame. Call it
especially.
the Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. They should do that. What is the point of having Madonna in there when she doesn't do rock and roll? She hasn't released an album in God knows how long. And when you see her nowadays, she looks like something.
Whitney Houston.
No, oh God, Whitney. I'm sorry, Whitney Houston's not rock and roll either.
Exactly, that was my point.
And now the only good thing about this in the list of inductees, at least they're able to include Iron Maiden in their list. Thank goodness for that.
I don't think they're in yet.
But they've been inducted. But if I understand, they're going to be inducted. I'm losing my figure of speech here. They're going to be inducted, for I understand. They were nominated, I guess.
And from what I understand, Jethro Tull has not been inducted
No.
and won't be.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Same with, I believe, Kansas, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know why either. They deserve to be.
We'll discuss that kind of stuff later, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, after the Mamas and Papas, I got the Marianne Faithfull, who did a few little odds and ends and was Mick Jagger's girlfriend for a while.
Yep, absolutely.
She did As Tears Go By, and then the Stones decided, hey, we're going to do it too. We wrote it.
Yep.
And she had another song called This Little Bird or something like that. It was pretty good.
Yes.
Next group I got, I only know of one song, but it's a damn good song.
Well, hold on a second. Go ahead. Before I start to interrupt you got to give credit for the Marianne's haunting vocals on The Memory Remains, the Metallica song. It was the first time Metallica had an outside performer on their records there. And the haunting, if you ever listen to the song's about an actress whose stardom is starting to fade away. And it's just like you could feel you could hear her vocals and the la 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 la. It's kind of haunting when you really think about it.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes some of these artists have some interesting backgrounds or background people.
Yep.
And people you don't know until it's like we talked about Andrew Gold.
Yes.
Of course, Stevie Nicks is highly distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to mistake her.
Absolutely.
But the group I was talking about that had the one song that I know of, there might be others, but there's only one hit song that I know of.
Yes.
Is a song called Reflections of My Life. Group is Marmalade. It's a great song. And I'm amazed they didn't follow it up with something.
All right.
Next one I got's Martha and the Vandellas, who had quite a few little hits from Motown.
And we know the big one there that they know. We know their biggest ones there.
Well, there's Heat Wave and Dancing in the Street.
Yep, which was done by Van Halen and later Mick Jagger and David Bowie back in '85.
A lot of people have done it. The Grateful Dead have done it.
Oh wow, interesting there.
I mean, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and of course, as I mentioned, Van Halen did their version. For what I understand, they were allowed to do their version, but they were not allowed to perform it live, I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
You gotta love
they
those.
had a reason for it.
Yeah, you gotta love the stipulation that these publishing companies have. I mean, like, for instance, you remember when Hollywood Hulk Hogan had the few seconds of Voodoo Child for his entrance music back in WCW when the NWO was running amok? They were only allowed. I mentioned this before. They were only able to obtain or get get permission to only use a couple few seconds of that song before the NWO theme would kick in there. I guess
Right.
later on, I guess when he Hogan rejoined the WWE, or I guess when he was still with WCW, they were able to get the full permission to do the whole song there.
Yeah, there's a certain amount you can use. It's called sampling.
Yep.
They do a lot of that in
Yeah.
hip hop. But after that, it's kind of like, oh, wait, you're playing the song. And you got to come up with whys.
Absolutely.
Next one I got on my list is Marvin Gaye, who had quite a few songs and
Yep.
kind of, I guess, in a sense, an interesting history. He was killed by his father, of all people.
Marvin Gaye Sr. It was an argument over insurance, I guess it was. And from what I understand, Marvin Gaye Sr. was kind of like an abusive towards his son Marvin Jr. there. In fact, there was a story there from one of his relatives saying while he was playing a game of cards or something like that, and Marvin Jr. said, "My dad's going to kill me. My dad is going to kill me, possibly." And everybody was like, "Shut up, let's continue with the card game and stuff."
And then he actually did it.
Yep, exactly. And kind of funny is that this man, Marvin Gaye Sr., became the most hated man in the R&B scene around that time, in 1984. He never. I don't think he served a day in jail, for I understand, because when that happened, he was kind of like lost everything. His wife decided to divorce him. Immediately afterwards. The man literally had nothing, for I understand there. I guess let me look him up to see the circumstances here. While you Marvin Gaye Sr.
Okay.
there. Go ahead, dude.
The next one I got is a lady by the name of Mary Hopkins, who's actually British.
Yep.
And her big song was one called "Those Were the Days,"
Yes.
which ran about 5 minutes, as I remember.
And she was on the Beatles Apple
Yeah,
Records.
that was an Apple release.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty big song, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it was about 5 minutes. I believe it was about 5 minutes.
Yes.
Next one I got is a guy that had a very big instrumental hit, and from what I understand, it really didn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Williams. He wrote for the Glenn Campbell show, I think. But at any rate, he had a song called Classical Gas, instrumental. Big, big, big song.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I remember, it's about the only thing he ever did.
All right. Wow. I looked up the Marvin Gaye Sr. here, and I'm at the article where the details of shooting of Marvin Gaye, the singer there. In October 1983, this is from the Wikipedia, after months in Washington, D.C., Gaye Sr. returned to the West Adams home located in Grand Mercy Place. Gaye Sr. often told his kids, "I brought you into this world, I could take you out." And on Christmas Day of that year, Marvin gave his father an unregistered .38 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol to protect him from intruders and murderers after the younger Marvin Gaye became heavily addicted to cocaine, felt someone was trying to plot to kill him. Now, the elder Gaye kept the gun because he felt protected. Now, on March 31st, 1984, Gaye Sr. was angry because he could not locate a missing insurance policy document and accused Alberta, his wife, of misplacing the letter. Marvin awoke from his sleep, and Marvin Jr. awoke from his sleep, I should say, and commanded his father to leave Alberta alone. However, neither father nor son physically attacked one another that night. At around 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Standard Time, Gaye began arguing with Alberta again over the missing insurance letter. After he was heard yelling from downstairs, his son, dressed in his maroon robe, shouted downstairs if he wanted to talk to his mother and to do it to person. When Gaye Sr. refused, Marvin threatened to not only enter his room, according to interviews from Alberta, the only other witness to the shooting. When he did enter, his son, angrily, despondent, and heavily intoxicated, shoved his father into the hallway and then hit him. The fight continued into Marvin's bedroom, where Marvin reportedly struck his father and kicked and punched him severely. Alberta successfully separated the two men and convinced Marvin to leave the room. At around 10:38 p.m., minutes before returning to his bedroom, Gay Sr. went back to his bedroom with the pistol and shot his son, boom, and it penetrated his vital organs, including his heart. Gay Sr. walked forward and shot him a second time in the shoulder at point blank range. Wow. Man.
And yet he didn't go to jail.
And yeah, after being taken to the Los Angeles County Jail, Gay Sr. was held on a $100,000 bond. The bail was eventually reduced to $30,000, and his estranged wife Alberta posted the bond through a bondsman. Aware of his failing health, Gay Sr. doctors examined him in Mayo and discovered a Benign benign walnut-sized brain tumor in his gland, one of his glands there. The brain tumor would later excuse me there. Ugh. Calm down. Okay. There we go. Let's resume.
That right there was going to kill him pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. It would play a factor in the hearings of the trial against him, with his lawyer stating that the tumor may have played a part in Gay shooting his son. However, the judge in the case reasoned that Gay was competent to stand trial and he knew what he had done. At the results of Marvin's autopsy showed that he had traces of cocaine and PCP in his system taken days surrounding his death, but not active in his system. Pictures of Gay taken after he was brought into custody showing injuries from his fatal fight with his son. Judge Gordon Ringer agreed to let Gay enter a plea bargain. He pleaded no contest to a charge of voluntary manslaughter on September 20th, 1884. During the sentencing here 2 months later, Gay was allowed to talk. He told the court if I could bring him back, I would. I was afraid of him. I thought I was going to get hurt. I didn't know what was going to happen. I really felt sorry for everything that happened. I loved him. I wish I could step through this door right now. I'm paying the price right now.
Yeah.
He was given a 6-year suspended sentence and 5 years probation for the shooting. He was also prohibited from owning any firearms or alcohol for the remainder of his life. During this time, Alberta Gay filed for divorce after 49 years of marriage. Gay eventually went back to his residence, but health issues forced him to move to a nursing home, first in Inglewood in '86, and for the final years of his life in a nursing home in Culver City, California, where he died of pneumonia in October 1998, 9 days after his 84th birthday.
Man.
Well, I know.
Okay.
All right.
Well, leaving that note behind.
Yep. Your best Marvin Gaye.
Next one I got on the list is Max Frost and the Troopers. They did a song called "Shapes of Things to Come,"
which the Yardbirds. Which the Yardbirds.
Well, no, that's a different song.
Oh, okay.
And actually, like I said, it was a movie that was made from that song, I think.
Really?
Rather than the other way around, which is normally the way it works.
Usually at that time, yes. Usually it happens like that.
And then next one I got is The McCoys. Which, Hang On Sloopy. Everybody knows Hang On Sloopy.
Absolutely there. For the first time I heard that, I thought it was Hang On Snoopy, related to the Charlie Brown comic character there. But I turned to realize, oh, crap. I made a mistake.
And when we get into the S's later on, there's going to be a little more history to that song. And the McCoys actually had quite a few songs. They were fronted by Rick Derringer. And next one I got is Mary Lee Rush, who had a huge hit with Angel in the Morning. Angel of the Morning, excuse me.
Which I
Uh,
guess Juice Newton would later cover.
she covered it,
Yep.
but the big hit was Merrily Rush,
Hmm.
which was a big song by her.
Right. Because remember, the
And
Juice
then,
Newton version became a big hit as well.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Next one I got is I have the Mindbenders, but it's actually Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders who later became the Mindbenders.
Ah.
A couple of big songs for them were Game of Love, which you may or may not have heard,
I don't think I have.
and Groovy Kind of Love, which actually got covered by Phil Collins
Yes, I
later.
remember the Bill Collins version. Yes, definitely.
That was the first version, was the Mindbenders,
Yes, that's true. They got to check that
60s.
out. Got to check that out, folks.
Yeah. And next one I got's Mitch Ryder, which you're familiar with him because he's
Absolute.
from
De-
your area.
yeah, Detroit, Michigan. Yep. Devil with the blue dress on. Good golly, Miss Molly. The two they did together. That was played on the radio a lot.
Yeah. And then they did a lot of double songs like that. They had 3 or 4 of them like that.
Yep. And a couple
Um,
you may remember the Rockets years later, where they have songs like "Turn Up the Radio," "Desire," albums like "No Ballads" from 1980. And
right,
members of the Rockets emerged from the Detroit Wheels lineup. Believe it or not, they brought the
right.
management figured, yeah, we could do whatever we want with Mitch Ryder, so let's break up the Detroit Wheels. And of course, as I mentioned, the members of the Detroit Wheels would later become the Rockets. Get singer David Gilbert, rest in peace, and couple put out a lot of albums of their own, like Back Talk, no ballads, Rocket and Roll. All those were great records
And
there.
and then Mitch Ryder did his own thing with a group that he called Detroit.
Yes, with their cover version of the Velvet Underground's Rock and Roll, which was played a lot, a heavier version of that song.
Yeah. Next
Absolutely.
one I got is a group called Mojo Man, which had 2 hits several years apart, and they sound so different. I almost think is a different lineup.
Ah,
They did the first one's called something called Dance with Me,
ah,
which was kind of a semi-rocking tune,
ah.
and then they did a cover of "Sit Down, I Think I Love You," which I believe was a Buffalo Springfield song,
Really there.
and they sound so different. It's almost like it's 2 different groups.
Wow, interesting there.
Next one I got's a Texas band,
Hmm.
Mouse and the Traps.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of this group there.
And their biggest song was something called Public Execution.
Hmm. That's interesting there, about an actual public execution, I take it?
No, it's
Oh.
kind of like what he says his girlfriend wants, or something like that. A public execution of him, or
Oh.
something like that.
Oh, I see. One of those I
It's
hate you type of
strangely
songs.
it's not an actual event. It's kind of like a wannabe event.
Somebody you wish your ex-lover would face.
Yeah. Then we got 3 one-hit wonders in a row.
Wow.
First one is Mungo Jerry
Oh,
in the
and we know,
summertime.
oh, we know that song. Yeah, like that song
Yep.
still gets played every time. I believe every time summer comes around, all the oldie stations play that track there.
Yeah, they launch into that one.
Absolutely.
Nice little. It's got a. I don't know what it's called, but it's one of those kind of beats. Not hard. It's not easy to follow
It's
if
a
you're
kind of
trying to
like
cover that song.
it's kind of like a ragtime 1920s kind of beat there when you look at it there.
Yeah. Next one is a group called the Music Explosion.
And we know
They had
that
a song called "Little
talk.
Bit of Soul."
Oh yeah, which Ramones would later cover on back in 1982. You remember the album Subterranean Jungle? Great album.
Yeah. And then the third one right after that's Music Machine, which was Talk Talk.
Which Alice Cooper covered on his record Flush of Fashion in 1980.
Yeah. And that pretty much takes care of the ends, so we move on to the ends.
And I think the band, you remember the band Talk Talk? I think they got their name from that particular song when you look at it there.
Wouldn't surprise me. And
Yep.
that song's one of the first grungy type metal songs too.
Yeah, think about it there, folks.
A lot of a lot of people are talking about, hey, grunge came out here and metal came out here. Well, a lot of it was
You got to take a
kind of
look. Yeah, you got to take a look back at all the garage rock bands, when they came around that time.
yeah, because some of this stuff was done then.
Yeah, mate.
Next one I got is Nancy Sinatra, which we all know is the daughter of Frank Sinatra.
Yep, Frank Sinatra. She's still kicking, by the way, there.
Yeah, and she actually had an incredible string of hits, a lot of hits, and
Yes.
she did a couple of songs with Lee Hazelwood that are kind of famous.
All right.
Uh, Summer Wine.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that other one? Some Velvet Morning.
So, okay.
And then she had a lot of her own. You mentioned Sugar Town. These boots are made for walking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lightning's Girl. I mean,
Yep.
there's a lot of songs. She did a lot.
Yeah, but the one they always focus on was, of course, these boots are made for walking. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
main song. That's the main song from her. That people always go for.
and what's kind of funny is she kind of, depending on how you listen to it, a lot of people were like, she's not really doing a good job of singing that song, but actually she did just fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because Jessica Simpson did a cover of that song, and that was the first time in my life I ever uttered the word. She made Nancy Sinatra sound good.
Yeah. All right. So I guess
She did.
she didn't. I guess Jessica Simpson didn't do that well. I guess.
No, it's a horrible cover.
Oh gosh, I think Megadeth did their version for a movie back. I think it was called Dudes. The movie was, I guess it was. I remember hearing that
Yeah.
near a local independent record store in East Detroit. Um, I remember it was a thrashy metal version of that track there.
That had to be interesting.
Yeah, it was. I remember hearing it back when it first came out. I guess it was in '86 or '87, I think it was, when that movie came out. It was called Dudes. I think it starred John Cryer, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one I got is a novelty act, Napoleon the 15th.
And we know this, the one-hit wonder from this guy. We all know this.
Yep, they're coming to
take me away. They're coming to take me away onto the funny farm. Believe it or not. And you know what? The guy who portrayed him, we still don't know his name, if I understand. I guess he left the scene after that song came out.
Well, and one of the interesting things about him was the flip side of that record
Yeah.
was They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha, backwards.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Interesting there.
And the title was even backwards.
Oh, wow.
Really, really weird.
Now that's the original right there. For I understand,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember hearing this story about the guy. Apparently, he came on stage one time to do a show, and the audience started laughing. But I guess he came out as that Napoleon outfit that he had as his gimmick there.
Oh, boy.
And I
Yeah.
guess people, instead of laughing with him, they were laughing at him. And
Yeah, it's kind
and
of,
that
they didn't get the joke.
and they just, I guess since that, the guy who portrayed him, just went became total recluse after that, man.
Yeah.
And it's sad because
Don't blame him.
I know, yeah, because anybody who goes through that, that's gonna fuck with your head no matter what.
Yeah. And next one I got's a group called Naz.
Oh yeah, we know one of the members, Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, and Tanaz actually had some pretty good stuff. The version they did of Hello, It's Me
Yep.
is a lot more mellow and well, there's a word I'm looking for. More, it's not bouncy, it's just lush. That's, I think, it's a very, very good version.
Yes, and
And
what?
there's a couple other songs that's good on that album. One of them's "Open My Eyes,"
Yeah.
which is their first album's great.
Yes.
Almost every song on it's good. Second and third albums are kind of like, okay, that's
Alrighty then.
eh. Yeah, those are okay. I mean, and there were good songs on them, but they weren't near like the first album.
Yeah.
Next one I got is a guy I think some of you heard of,
Yep.
and I've mentioned before, Neil Diamond.
Oh yeah. We know this guy
And I
like a.
mentioned before, I like me some Neil Diamond.
Yep.
I'm okay with this
Give
stuff.
get up to the guy. He wrote some pretty damn good songs, from "I'm a Believer," which what the Monkees did, to songs like "Sweet Caroline," which everybody, if you do that song at a karaoke, everybody's going to go whoa oh as a backup there. So
Yeah.
good, so good. They started doing that long. I can imagine the chance of that when they ever did that song in concert.
Yeah, in fact, actually, if you listen to any of the because I've listened to some of the concerts too,
Yep.
because I like live music,
Hmm.
and that's exactly right. That's exactly what
They
happens.
they do that. I guess Neil is like, holy cow. I can imagine Neil Diamond must have been flustered with appreciation when UB40 did his song "Red Red Wine."
Yeah, but my list, I started number 10 with a song called "Play Me."
Hmm.
Number 9, I got "America," because he does a good song version of that. It's
Yeah,
from the movie.
the jazz
I don't remember
singer,
the name.
the jazz
Yeah,
singer from 1980.
great song. Number 8, "Song Sung Blue."
Yep.
Number 7, I got a song called "Done Too Soon," which is a decent song too.
Hmm.
Well, I like all these songs, so I don't have to say they're decent.
Yes.
Number 6 is an oldie, "You Got to Me."
Yes.
Number 5 is "Sweet Caroline." Number 4 is another oldie, "I Got the Feeling." And number 3 is another oldie, "Solitary Man,"
Ah.
which actually I believe was his first hit. Number 2, "I Am I Said," which the live version of that song on
Yep.
Hot August Night is great. And my favorite Neil Diamond song, "Holly Holy." I
Ah.
don't know why, I just really like that song. Like I said, I got unusual tastes.
Holly Holy. Interesting there. Interesting title there. That would make a great name for a female wrestler when you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, actually, I guess it would.
Hmm.
But like I said, I like me some Neil Diamond, and there are other songs by him I like real well.
Yep. And now, when you think about it, Neil Diamond, prior to his retirement, I guess he has Parkinson's as well, for I understand. He kind of like became the iconic symbol of cool now, to I guess throughout the later part of the, I guess the early 2000s, I guess.
Yeah. And next thing I got's another novelty group guy,
Uh huh.
Nervous Norvis.
Who? Nervous?
Nervous Norvis.
Oh,
Among his songs were Transfusion, which is basically him doing stupid crap and having to get a transfusion. Funny song,
oh
actually.
my God. Blood transfusion, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And another one he did was Dinner with Drac, which is, of course, a dinner with Dracula.
Okay.
And the third one is real. Did he do My
Hmm.
Boomerang Won't Come Back?
I do not know.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that one up, but I believe he did that one too. But the one that I was thinking of is one called Ape Call, which is basically about guys and how they act around women.
Like apes,
It-
like
yeah, exactly.
gorillas, trying to, hey, look at
But
this
for
big
me, the
muscle.
funny story tied to that song is when my father was in the military.
Mm.
He was over in France, and every once in a while, the place that he used to go hang out. He told me this story,
Yeah.
but every once in a while, the place he used to go hang out at, they had German officers that would come in there,
Yeah.
and the jukebox there had the German anthem on it, and they'd put their money in, play it, and then they'd get up and stand at attention, kind of look around, expecting everybody else to acknowledge, hey, we're
What?
German and we're here,
Yep.
or whatever. And one of the guys that he knew broke into the jukebox
Oh.
and replaced German Anthem with Ape Call. So
Oh.
they walked in there and they put their quarter in, hit the button, expected to hear that song, got up and stood at attention, and they heard Ape Call. It was kind
Big
of like,
surprise on them, man.
yeah, no kidding. And they
I
had to
bet they
be
were.
embarrassed, but
Oh man, they probably were furious after that, man.
oh yeah, but everybody got a
What you
big
told
laugh
you
out of
took
it.
away the German national anthem to play this with this song called Ape Call?
Yeah.
They must have. They
Next
were
year,
no tip from us. Nah.
next year three are new. First one, the new Christie Minstrels.
Hmm.
Uh, what was their song? They did one about grass, and I can't. Well, not grass.
The weed,
It's not the weed.
the actual grass,
Yeah,
green.
actual.
It's kind of like the green gray grass of home.
Yeah, but that wasn't the song. What was the name of that song? Well, you know
Uh,
what? I got this bad. This computer's back up. Let me
I
go
see.
look real quick.
All right.
And watch me get there and find out I'm mistaken.
All right.
But the New Christie Minstrels were a folk band. Believe that's where Barry McGuire came from,
All right.
or maybe it's a Christie Minstrels he came from. Oh, a whole list of news.
Wow.
New Colony 6.
Mm.
It was Green Green.
All right.
It's not anything about grass. Green Green, I'm going away to the flower time. Yeah. And This Land Is Your Land.
All
Like I
right.
said, they were a folk type group.
All right. They're interesting.
Then there was the new Seekers, which I think the Seekers did I'll Never Find Another You.
All right.
And New Seekers, what did they do?
And I guess this was the band broke up and reformed as the New Seekers. I take it.
Yeah, and they had a female singer this time out.
I see.
Oh, you'll know this song.
All right.
I'd like to teach the world to sing.
And we know, which later became the theme song for all those Coke commercials back in the 1970s.
Yep.
Yep. And let's also not forget, when Jimmy Page, after the dismantlement of the original Yardbirds, when he got together with those three other guys, they were going to call themselves the New Yardbirds until Keith Moon made the remark that he did, and next thing you know, history was made.
Yeah. Next one I got is the new Vaudeville Band, which that was their name. They didn't have a,
Okay,
but they did a song called Winchester Cathedral, which was actually sung through a megaphone.
all right. That's interesting.
Interesting, yeah. And they actually weren't a real band.
Mm.
It was just some guy fooling around in the studio or whatever. And they actually had to form a band to play, suppose for a lack of
Better terms
whatever.
here. For a promotion, I guess.
Yeah. Next group I got's the New Beats, which is one word.
All right.
And they had a kind of a little, they had a guy that sang in high registers. They
All
did a
right.
song called Bread and Butter.
All right. Which I think Robert John made. Bread and
Yeah.
butter. Yeah, I think I like bread and butter. Is
Yeah.
that it? Yeah, I see.
That was
I
the
was right.
60, they did it in the early 60s.
All
I
right.
want to say like 64, 65, somewhere in that range.
Because I remember the singer Robert John, the same one who did Sad Eyes. He did his
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah. And then next guy I got's Noel Harrison, which I don't know if he's related to anybody
George.
in particular or not.
George?
No, he's not related to George.
No.
I don't know what he's famous for,
Mm.
but he's famous for something besides singing, kind of like Richard Harris.
Mm.
But he did a
Harris.
song
I thought you
called-
said Harrison. My bad.
No, I did. Noel Harrison.
No, Harrison. Oh, okay. And I never heard of this. I remember there was a Rich Harris who released a couple of albums, but I know that was the
Yeah,
same.
we'll
It
get to
was,
Richard
yeah,
Harris.
definitely, because I'm trying to figure out which is which. You know,
Well, Noel Harrison released a song, only song I know of, but there might be others.
all
It's
right,
called A Young Girl, which is about a story about
all
a
right,
girl who was like 16 who ran off with gypsies or whatever,
all right,
and what became of her and things like that. It's a pretty telling song.
all right.
And I mentioned Norman Greenbaum before.
Yes,
He's the spirit in the sky.
all right.
Uh,
We know that song, and I guess that song made a comeback in another. I guess in the movie Michael, with that starred John Travolta. I guess it was in '95. I guess it was, or '96.
yeah.
Who did he play the angel the same name?
Okay, well, that would make sense.
All right. Yep.
Okay, then we move to the O's. First group I got there is Ohio Express, famous for Yummy, 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 I Got Love in My Tummy,
Ah.
Chewy, Chewy. They were part of the
Goo.
Buddha Cats bubblegum rock.
Okay.
But that's the big songs by them that pretty much everybody probably has heard.
Yeah. I'm probably and I'm told probably the titles he used in all these food commercials. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got this in my tummy. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got the OJs who had fairly large strings of hits
Oh
themselves.
yeah, a lot of Eddie Levert. Uh, we know that we know he's still kicking around. We know him from his involved with the OJ's, and plus the his son being the late Gerald Levert.
Yeah, they're the ones that do that Get on the Love Train.
Yep, that's it. And plus the original For the Love of Money.
Yeah, money,
Yep.
money, money, money.
And
Yeah,
the song Backstabbers, which
backstabbers.
yes, and which is about a guy calling out his friends for trying to hit up on his woman behind his back,
Yeah,
calling him to his
yeah,
house just to see his woman when they were trying to pretend that they're coming to say hi to him.
yeah. There's some good stuff by that group.
Yeah.
Next one I got is Oliver, who did Good Morning Starshine.
Hmm.
I think that's correct.
Yes.
And of course, you got Otis Redding, who had a big string of hits before he was taken away.
Yeah.
His biggest being Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Absolutely. One of the biggest of all time, which came out after his death, unfortunately.
Yep. Great song. A lot of
Yeah.
band. In fact, the band I was in covered it.
Yep. I think Michael Bolton did his version, if I understand. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes,
I
I believe so.
avoid Michael Bolton.
I remember seeing the video for that. Guess it had Neil Sean of Journey playing guitar on that track in the video as well. But
Wow.
but you can't not beat Otis's version of that track.
Oh no. Yeah. And the last I got is The Outsiders. Time
Time won't let
Time
me.
Won't Let Me,
Yep.
which was their one and only.
Yeah.
And we got time to move into the P's real quick.
Okay.
First one I got is a guy by the name PJ Proby, who did a song called Nicky 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 Hokey. Well, Nicky
PJ
Hokey was in
PJ
Proby.
Pro B.
Right.
Sounds like another name for independent wrestler when you think about it there.
Yeah, and actually, I think he was British.
Okay.
And then the next one I got is Paul Marriott, and he did something called Love is Blue, which you've heard, but you may not recognize the title.
Okay.
But it's one of those everybody heard songs.
Got to look it up, definitely.
And then the next one's a group called People,
Mm.
One Hit Wonder.
Oh,
They
wow.
covered a zombie song called I Love You.
Oh, wow. And that was it, just that one song?
That was pretty much the extent of it.
Wow.
Then you got Percy Faith, who had a lot of instrumental hits.
Yeah.
One of them was Theme from a Summer Place, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah.
Which was big.
Summer 42, I guess.
Oh,
Was
no,
another?
no.
Okay, that was somebody else.
Right.
All right, my bad.
Uh, then I got Percy Sledge, When
Oh
a
yeah.
Man Loves a Woman.
Oh yeah, classic. Absolute romantic classic right there, folks.
Yeah. Then you got Petula or Petula Clark,
But you,
Downtown.
oh yeah, we know that song very well.
A lot of them actually. Don't Sleep in the Subway.
Yep.
Uh, I Know a Place. There are a ton of them. Color My World. She has a lot of songs actually. I just can't simply remember them. Then the next one I got kind of an obscure one, and actually goes back, I think, in the 50s.
All right.
Phil Harris, he did a song called The Thing, which was a novelty song.
Yes.
Then next guy I got a folk singer by the name of Phil Ox.
All right. We know. I've heard of this
And
guy. Yes. This guy was
one of the
like a.
songs you got,
Go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Well, because I understand this guy was like a liberal activist, for I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he had a song that was played a lot on the underground stations in the late 60s, early 70s. That was called Outside of a Small Circle of Friends.
Yes.
That was about witnessing events that somebody should do something about, and they decided not to. And he says, "I'm sure it wouldn't matter anyway, outside of a small," or something like that.
Uh huh.
It's a pretty intense song,
Uh huh.
but it's good. And then I got the Poppy Family, which did a song called "Which Way You Going, Billy."
Uh huh.
Then the Premiers, Farmer John, and
All right.
yeah,
All right.
spent a little time on this group. Let me get to them. Procol Harum,
Oh yeah, Robin.
British, but we didn't cover them.
Absolutely. But you know what? Robin Trower, who later hit it big with as twice removed from Yesterday, Bridge of Sighs, In City Dreams. He came from this group.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a list. This group, I was able to do 15 and still didn't get everything I wanted to.
Oh wow, yeah.
And number 15 is Souvenir of London, which is on the Grand Hotel album.
All right.
Number 14 is Whiter Shade of Pale, which everybody in the world has heard.
Knows like the back of her hand. It's been covered by Doral Perish, the German metal singer, as well as you remember the HSAS, which was Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, Hager, Sean, Aaron, and Shreve.
Yep. Yep. Which I remember. I had that album, by the way, which is pretty damn solid rock and roll, folks. Definitely pick that one
Oh,
up
yeah,
if we find it.
definitely. Number 13 is Grand Hotel, which is a lush number. And Procol Harum does a lot of lush numbers.
Yep.
Number 12 I got is Hamburg, which is a song about a hat.
Yep.
Weird,
Oh.
but that's...
Oh.
And number 11 is Nothing But the Truth.
Mm-hmm.
10
Which
is
is-
Whiskey Train, which has got a great Robin Trower bit in it.
Oh wow.
Get to hear some real good Robin Trower in that one. Number 9 is another one called Whaling Stories, which borders on prog, actually.
All right.
In fact, this whole group essentially borders on prog, and there's a couple songs that go there. 8 is Simple Sister, another Robin Trower solo
Yes.
worth listening to.
Yes.
All This and More is number 7.
Uh huh.
Number 6 is Conquistador, which I think everybody's heard before.
Nice name.
Number 5 is Outside the Gate of Absurdities.
All right.
Number 4 is Devil Came from Kansas, which, again, you got some Trower going on in there.
Oh yeah.
Number 3 I got is A Salty Dog.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing that song. They remember those clips
Great
at the
song.
Beat Club? Yeah, about a sailor, of course.
Right. A lot of the Procol Harum songs are pretty lush and kind of out there a little bit. Number 2, I got Shine On Brightly.
Yep.
And number 1, I got the song I mentioned to you before, 17 minutes long. This is definitely prog.
Ah.
It's called In Hell 'Twas I.
Oh,
It breaks out in about 5 different melodies, and it's got some great Robin Trower in it. Look it
nice.
up, play it. It's worth it.
All right, definitely. And also shout out to their singer and their keyboard player Gary Brooker. Years
Yep.
later, he would make an appearance on Woody the Alan Parsons Project's album Stereonomy. He would sing on a track on that album titled Limelight.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
song
And
there, by the way.
might as well move into the cues because I only got one.
Okay.
Question mark and the Mysterions.
Oh yeah, Michigan.
Gee, I wonder what their song was.
Oh, we know that 96 Tears. And I guess I'm going to understand a Michigan native, question mark himself, I understand, right?
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that group is they had their follow-up song. If you listen to that,
Mm-hmm.
"Can't Get Enough of You, Baby," it
Yeah.
sounds like a variation on 96 Tears. It is very close.
Ah,
They had another one followed behind that called "I Need Somebody," which at least was different,
yes.
and it's actually a pretty decent song.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that we've used up our hour.
I do, yeah, but we got, I guess we got plenty of time there.
Well, it's whatever you want to do. I don't want to run people off or
All
have them
right.
go,
Why
"Oh,
not?
this show's too long."
Oh, okay, well, I think about if you could probably add one more group if you wish, and then call it and end it from there and continue on, I guess, until Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, I could go into the arts, but there's a lot of them.
I know, yeah, it's true there. One of these days, if I ever have a day off, we could probably just sit here and do a all-day marathon of all these groups if you wish.
Yeah, and just break it up.
Yeah,
Do an
absolutely
hour,
there.
cut it off.
Yeah,
Do an hour, cut it off.
yeah, that's true, yeah. Should probably do that sometime, pretty soon there when we
Yeah.
get the time there.
When's your next day off?
This Saturday. I'm working. I'm
Okay.
not working on that day there, so definitely we'll continue our discussion at our same time there.
Yeah, 'cause I'm in dialysis and I
Uh,
won't be out till 4.
okay, there. I see there. Yeah, so and I guess I know Ken's going to go live on Farmhouse Network. I'll probably pop in there and check out probably join in on the call there. Probably see that's if all goes well. If I'm, if there's a good subject coming up here, I'll definitely call in and say hi and all that good stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
because I noticed you were, I actually got to listen to a Cronin show
oh, nice.
and noticed you were on there, but you didn't mention it.
Really? When was that?
Well, I don't remember exactly. It was a throwdown, I think, but there was a lot going on, and you probably didn't get a chance because it
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah.
give you.
That's one of the big reasons why I have a hardly go on any of Joe's show because everybody talks so much, about all. When I'm trying to get a word in at times, it's hard for me to say anything because either Drew or Jesse or Dave Rose or whoever else is on there, speaks before I get a chance to. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just sit back and let them talk, wait for my turn.
Yeah,
And that drives me nuts. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't really call on Joe's programs that much anymore.
yeah, because he tends to have like 10 people on there, and what was I was listening to another one, one of the monetize this is, I guess, and he had like 6 people on there, and they were continually talking all over
I
each other,
know,
and
absolutely,
I
yeah,
couldn't follow what was going on.
yeah. Now, I wanted to save this for last. You heard I did a video about this last night. I heard about it yesterday while I was on lunch break, and I want to get your take on this whole thing here. It as of March 10th, which will be in a couple days, the mask mandate will be lifted here in the state of Texas, and all the businesses will be back to 100% operational. And I guess not just restaurants or movie theaters, but also I guess nightclubs and concert venues just as well, if I'm understanding it as well. Now my question is this, and I should probably do a remake of that video because I feel like the video I kind of like dragged on with the same questions over and over there, and but you know how me I often lose track of shit. Have to remake videos over and over then. But the question I have is, like, suppose Numbers nightclub opens up and I'm off work, I'm ready to throw down, I'm ready to have a good time, but the question is there going to be lots of people there like it usually is, and are we going to have to wear masks while we're on the dance floor, or when we have to go up and get a drink, or head outside to have a smoke, or whichever? You know, I know I'm going to have to have a mask with me, no matter what, when I walk into a venue, or whether it's a shopping mall and shit. And
Right.
and the thing is, we're waiting for the Johnson and Johnson vaccine to come out, which, if I understand, you just have it one time and that'll be it.
Yeah. And basically, my view on the whole thing on mask is it's not a big deal to wear it. I mean, it itches me a little bit because
Yeah,
when I go to dialysis, I have to wear it, and that's
yeah.
4.5 hours in
Wow,
the place, in a chair, with needles stuck in my arm,
wow,
having to wear a mask, and
wow.
it's
And
gets old pretty quick.
now I noticed that the HEB grocery chain here in Texas, they are still asking people to wear a mask when inside of their shopping area there, for the safety and concern of the other people there. And
And I don't have any real problem with that. I
I don't
I
really,
can I
I
can
don't
deal
really
with it.
have that much problem in either. The only problem with it when I wear a mask at my job is when I'm in the dairy cooler or when
Right.
I'm outside. When I breathe, it fogs up my glasses. That's the only problem there. That's
Oh
my
yeah.
only
Yeah.
issue there. And plus, that after a while, the little band, kind of like gets to wear on your ears there. So I have to loosen the things up because they have little looseners on them nowadays there.
Yeah.
But after a while, but I would love to go back to Numbers. I would love to go see bands at the concert and pub north. I would like to go check out some other things in downtown Houston. But I still have yet to even do that. But I will say this. All the videos I've done, by myself when I was out and about in this area, that area there, I'm usually without a mask because I'm the only one in that area there making that video.
Exactly.
But when I'm inside of a play with like a store or something like that, I still wear a mask, this and that.
Sure.
And I guess it'll be like that until we get this Johnson and Johnson vaccine st- stuck in my arm for God knows how long. We're talking about possibly, hopefully it'll come through pretty soon, because so that way, things will be back to normal.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm hoping so. I'm glad that the hospitalizations and the numbers have gone down a bit, according to Governor Abbott. But however, still got to wash my ass because remember I'm in my 50s. I am a type 1
Sure. Yeah.
diabetic, and with your given condition, that may if we
And in my
anyway,
70s.
yes, and if we get it, we're goners, dude. We're goners. We'd be
Pretty
like
much. Pretty much.
dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
But the only thing that bothers me about the thing, and yeah, I'm not in favor. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say either way.
Yeah.
But the only thing that bothers me is if you go on Twitter, you read all these idiots from other
I know.
states.
I saw a couple of those. Like, funny, they care about their guns and they care about people. I was like, bitch, shut up.
It's kind of like mind your own damn business, please.
Yeah, take care of
I mean,
yourself. But you know how some
we're
people
not
are.
telling you, well, your state sucks, and your state probably does in some ways.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming
Especially
after you guys.
if they're coming from California, then we could probably say, well, your state sucks. Politics sucks hog balls. I mean, like, come on, your governments in the Bay Area there allow homeless people to reside on the streets, put syringe needles on the ground, piss, shit, you name it. There, all these homeless tents at this spot here, that spot here. It's like the Bay Area is becoming a laughing stock throughout 2020 there when you think about it.
Well, basically, I've come to the opinion, and I've had it for a long time
Yeah,
actually, is Twitter is a cesspool of idiots
I know.
for the most part. There are
That's why
good
no.
people in there, but
That's why. The only reason I'm on Twitter right now, is because of all the people with this community follow me. On like whether it's Casey's Raw or Joe Cronin, Foulmouth Network, Mrs. Foulmouth, Shannon, and of course
Well,
other
nobody
people as
follows
well.
me, but I really don't care.
You know, and when you think, and plus, it's just like nowadays, you don't have to worry about Facebook. You don't have to worry. It's on Twitter that all these battles are being fought. I mean, like, come on. There's more of
Yeah.
this. I feel like I guess you could say that the battles that go on Twitter are way better storylines than what the WWE has been giving us for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
If it's to say there, you know, but
But like I said, it's just you read some of these people and they're like, uh, I mean, you
yep,
are,
pretty much, yeah, yeah.
like I said, all these people in other states, their state's perfect, so they got to make fun of Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, excuse me. Well, I'm glad. Let me state this. If I would have stayed in Michigan, I would have been dead. I would have been really screwed because the state of Michigan, in many ways, fucked me up, and some of the people in there fucked me up as well. I mean, like, I remember this back in 2008. A friend of mine who I'm still friends on Facebook. I was at a club with her and her husband, a couple of their friends. She was asking me how much I paid for the place I was living at that time. I told her, she often considered, having me moved in with them. Is there good work available there? That's the first thing I asked. We
Yeah.
talked a little bit, chit chat here, and she did say, quote unquote, my door is always open to you. Now, 2 years later, I was unemployed. I get an eviction notice from my greedy ass manager. I mean, excuse me,
Right.
landlord. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm looking for some help there. I contact that same person, to see if she was going to follow through on her word there. No can do. She didn't. She said, "I'm sorry. I'm moving my father into our place. He needs a place to stay," and which turned out not to be true because he never moved in there to begin with. There, so I'm feeling
Right.
betrayed. I really felt betrayed there. And when I was
Oh,
at
yeah.
the same time, my girlfriend at the time, I thought they was going to have me move in there with them, but her and her family, her mom and dad and her oldest son and such. But then the mother father, which I guess owned the place, changed their mind at the last minute, and that pissed me off to the high T. So I was just, there were a lot of shenanigans and backstabbings that went on to the state of Michigan towards me and towards other people as well. And when you look at it, the economic slump that I was in the midst of around 2012 and 2013 was a massive
Yeah.
load of crap. And plus, I don't think I could deal with another year of riding a bike in the freezing Michigan weather when you think about it. I didn't have a
That
car at
would be
that
kind of
time.
hard to do.
Yes, and I didn't have a car at that time. When you think about it, I couldn't afford it. I was living from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. You know, if
Yeah.
I didn't move if I still to this very day give absolute 120% credit to my sister and her husband for helping me out of that rut. I
Well,
still,
that's
I'm
good for
still,
them.
I'm still grateful to them to this very day for doing that. Despite the
Yeah.
arguments that we often have and disagreements here and there, I'm
Well, that's going
always,
to happen.
yes, I know, but I'm still thankful and loyal to them for helping me out.
Yeah. Yeah. And good for them and good for you.
Yes, because
Glad it worked
if
out.
I didn't move, and plus if I didn't move to Texas, I wouldn't discover the community that we're all in, basically in the YouTube community as well.
Yeah. There are a lot of good folks running around.
Yeah, there are,
Well, we got good folks from other states too. I
yes,
mean,
and plus, when you think about it, when I was living by myself in Richmond, Michigan, I couldn't afford any internet. I just had to
right.
go to the library to see or check my Facebook, MySpace, and all that good bullshit there.
Yeah. And that can get old real quick.
Yes, absolutely there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well.
well, it's going to have to wait and see how it goes there. Now this order goes into effect on March 10th, which will be about, I guess, a week or two from now, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll have to. Now I don't know when Numbers nightclub will be opening again pretty soon. I know DJ Wes Wallace, who DJs there on Friday nights, he usually does his streaming on Twitch TV. Got to plug him, by the way. He's a pretty good DJ. But you know what? We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Part of me is going to be a little bit cautious because of the circumstances. But the other half of me is going to be, yeah, yippee, we get to party once again on the weekends, yeah. So we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see there.
But it's basically just that's good, but let's be cautious. I mean, is
Absolutely.
the best way to put it, I suppose.
Absolutely. We could probably not wear a mask in the shopping mall. But in case we have to stand next to someone in a lineup with, it's best to have it with you on that times just in case.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I guess like I said, we'll have to wait and see what goes on, folks. All right. I guess I'll be doing,
Okay.
and that's do it for this episode of Arknolia the Doctor, episode 31
And
of our.
32 will be Saturday at the same time,
Yep,
so
absolutely, 7
look
p.m.
for it.
Eastern time, and we'll be there. We'll be ready to roll there. Okay, I guess that's for Arknolia and myself. This is Arknolia the Doctor, and we will see you again this coming Saturday evening. You guys have a good one, okay? Ark,
Bye.
bye-bye, folks.
Bye.